can, yeah.
Brilliant.
Over on recording.
Yep.
Luke, here we are. The defence is about to start. Is it all feeling real now?
Yeah, it's a privilege to be here. Obviously, last year I wasn't. I managed to win, so it's nice to be here and be a part of an exciting day. It's after last night, it's now the start and the preparation for the World Championships, and this is going to be bigger and better than ever now.
What's the whole year been like as World Champion for the first time?
It's been a whirlwind to us. I can't believe we're already around. It's gone so quick, and you kind of lose track on all the things you've achieved and amount of finals I've been involved in. So as I stand here now, it's been a massive achievement for me this year. I think it's been a success. I'm really pleased with the way that I've handled myself being the world champion, the world number one. I've won 2 majors and the World Cup and many other finals. So yeah, I'm really really pleased the way it's gone. And it'd be a lovely way. If I win the world this year, I think it'd be a better year this year than it was last year.
Phil, Adrian, Gary, defending this. Obviously, you just said it, so you know that not even like Michael has managed to do this. What would it mean if you could go back to back?
I think it would just be that absolute dream that I just think you'd feel like you're never going to wake up from. It's just it's when you're a one-time world champion, it's always amazing. But when you're a 2-time champion, it kind of puts you up there in the higher elite of the players that have played this sport. So. It's always nice winning one, but to win a second, it really does put you up there in the legacy of the greatest players there's ever been. So, this would be a great statement for myself to be 2-time world champion before I'm 30, and it's set a good precedent for me to go on and win a lot more in the future. But it's going to be tough. There's a lot of great players now, so I'm going to have to be at my best and play a lot better than I did, the weekend just gone.
But you can't fluke a world title.
No.
But is it important not just to be a one-time world champion in your eyes? Now you have done it once.
Yeah. I've got many years to go, but when I'm in this form, when I'm winning these titles, when I'm at the top of my game, I feel like you want to take advantage of the way you're playing to go on and win more. And the way I was playing at the back end of last year, it kind of would have been easy for me to just think I was going to win, but I thought winning major tournaments and then winning world championships are completely 2 different things to do. It's so much harder. I kind of didn't realise how hard it was, but it was mentally challenging. But I rode my luck in moments, and maybe I might have to do that this year if I do win. But you just got to believe in yourself. And the good thing for me is I'll take from that is I know how to do it. I've done it before, and that does help you out with experience.
I remember when you said that goosebump moment when John McDonald introduced you as the new world champion for the first time. What's it going to be like when he introduces you as the reigning defending champion at Alexandra Palace on opening night?
Again, another special moment, but you have to not allow that to play on your mind too much, because you're in a tournament and you're in a game where it's important to win. Them moments are emotional, but you can't let it affect you too much. So you want to get straight into that game and start off well. So it'd be a lovely moment. But my mum would be fully focused on trying to get through that first game. Thank you.
Luke, the one thing that's been really apparent about your reign as world champion is that you've been a better world champion than anyone in recent years. That you've won a couple of majors. You come into it with a lot of belief, and you spoke about your belief. Has it been important the last few days to show what you're capable of again, and so you come into it feeling like you did last year, maybe?
Yeah, I do. I think it was nice, important to win last night. Gives me that little bit more confidence. Whereas the last maybe 6 weeks, I probably haven't been nowhere near my best. And sometimes that can happen in sport. That kind of happened to me at the start of the year. I wasn't really at my best, and then I managed to come into form and start playing well. Then I started making lots of finals, and then obviously the last 6 weeks has probably been a bit below myself again, but winning again is going to give you the confidence going into the World Championships. I think it's the perfect preparation, isn't it, to win the last tournament, and it gives you that good feeling, and I feel like that's something I need sometimes to really give my confidence up to, and that's what I'm doing best.
There's obviously been a lot of chat this year about the fact that you were so-called overlooked for the other Luke, but you sort of put that into place a little bit over the last few days. Does that mean that was it important for you to do that, to sort of say, right, hang on a minute, I am still here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself overlooked as much. I think that, but just because Luke's got a bigger following, he's a bigger media star than myself, he's going to get more headlines, more writings, which is, it's going to happen, isn't it? He's going to have more people liking posts and commenting on posts because he's got more fans than I have. So, I don't think in a proper dart fan's eyes or proper journalist's eyes, I would be overlooked. I just think when you've got a bigger following, you're a bigger superstar than someone. Of course, it happens in all sports, but you see it in snooker. Ronnie O'Sullivan's always going to be the star, no matter who wins the snooker world championship. So that will be the same with darts now. I could probably win 5 world titles. Luke will still be the star, but rightly so. He's the biggest we've ever seen. So I think I've said it in many interviews. I'm not really too fussed about it, to be honest. I'm just here to try and battle it out with Luke and have fun, and hopefully we can have some great games over the next few years and probably many major finals as well.
Thank you very much.
Luke, thanks for your time. Last year you were obviously going into the tournament as a major champion, the World Championship is still sort of dangling there, and now the World Champion going into it. Does that change the mindset and the approach in any way at all?
Yeah, I mean, when you've been World Champion once, you kind of don't want to not be World Champion again. It's kind of whets the appetite. You want to go on and do it again, and the toughness how the sport's going, you kind of have to maybe try and get as many in as early as you can before maybe the new generation comes through and you kind of really good player, but you're still not in the top 4 or anything. That's what can happen. So kind of, like I said, I'm in that rich vein of form and I'm playing well the last 18 months, so it's a great opportunity to go on and try and get as many titles as I can. But you're always measured on the amount of world titles you win, and if I can pick up a couple more in my career, then I'll obviously go down in the legacy of one of the best players ever. But I think you judged on how many world titles you win.
People are already sort of looking at the collision course between yourself and Luke Little in the semi-finals of the World Championship. Do you believe it could be possibly that simple, that it is a fight out to the semi-finals for yourself and Luke?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Of course, it's on everybody's lips. Everyone wants to watch us play against each other. It's usually a great game, but it's never a foregone conclusion. You don't just make a semi-final in the Worlds by ease. I think if you look at the draw brackets, they're not easy. There's a couple of legends in my one, Barney and James Wade, and I think Mike Dedecker's in my half maybe, and Stephen Bunting. So that's to get to the semi. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing it by luck. It's going to have to be by pure grit, determination, and good performances. And I think Luke could be the same. Obviously, everyone wants to see it, of course, but it's not as easy as it was this weekend just gone. I think Luke was the better player of the weekend, but I managed to play it my best at the right time. Hopefully I can do the same in the World Championships, and we can go on that collision course and see a great game between us, because it's always enjoyable.
We talked about it a little bit with Phil there, but getting the wins. We're speaking last night in Minehead. Obviously, a win over Luke Little for any player is a big win, especially when it's yourself and him are probably the 2 premier players in the world at the moment. How much does it do getting that? I guess that's such an important time in the calendar just before the World Championship.
Yeah, I think the way he was playing it was kind of, I think people were probably looking at it like he's kind of not unbeatable. You either be at your best or he's taking the game away from you. And I think the thing that affected me last time was he didn't start very well against me. But like I did say to him afterwards, there's a lot of pressure on our shoulders because everyone expects us when we play against each other to average 110, and I think maybe we both tried too hard to try and set the world alight. But when I went into that lead, it allowed me to relax. But I think Luke relaxed as well because he was far behind. He was thinking, well, I've got nothing to lose now. And then you see a great game. I think our averages were quite low at the start, and they managed to both well in the hundreds. So if you'd have took that first session out, it would have been that game that everyone likes to see. And I thought it was a good game. I was always in control, but I think the thing that will happen between me and Luke is I'll go on runs, he'll go on runs beating me. But at the moment, his standard has been really good, really what I was doing last year. So I wasn't at my best in the players, but in the final I kind of was in the end, and that's the most important thing. You peak at the right time.
There's been so many rivalries over the years. You look at Taylor against Barney or MVG against Wright when he was really in his pomp. Maybe been a bit of heat to the rivalries. Yourself and Luke, it's very, very different. You saw yesterday the fist bumps after the big finishes, the smiling going off at the break. Just talk me through the dynamic between yourself and Luke.
Yeah, I just think we're two. I mean, I'm not as young as Luke, but we're two young lads. A sport where we're at the top of it. You kind of can't not enjoy that. It's we're two players that just get along. We get along well, and we enjoy playing each other. It's always exciting for the fans when we do, and I just think that kind of thing, it allows you to relax and have fun. And I know that the rivalries back in the day used to be more fierce and that, but I haven't got it in me. I don't want the the animosity. I don't think Luke does either. We just want to get along with our business and give the fans what they want, a great game. So of course when we play each other we want to beat each other more than ever, but there is that element of enjoyment and respect between each other, because we kind of come through at the same time. I know I was maybe 4 or 5 months before in winning what I was doing, but we're kind of coming through together at the same time. We're just looking at it like, this is great, we hopefully keep riding out for the next 10 years, and it'll be exciting.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
Luke, thank you very much for your time. Over the weekend there was a bit of a talk about fear factor of certain players, and a few pundits mentioned that Luke Littler's the only player with fear factor. I asked the same question to MVG, and he said that he doesn't necessarily think it's his on-board ability, but the media presence that he brings and the added fan base. Do you somewhat agree with that, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. Like when you're a micro of the sport, you have got a fear factor. Even if he's not at his best, he has a fear factor because of what he's achieved. He's a big personality. You know, I think at the moment there's a few players. Obviously, Luke has got it. I think I've got it because you've seen a lot of people that are not at their best against me. You know, I think they like Dirk last night. He kind of getting close to that winning line, and he started tightening up and give me an opportunity to go on and win the game. So, you know, Luke has got it in a way where if you're not 4-1 down, you're kind of looking like it's game over straight away. And Michael's got it because you know what he's capable of. So yeah, but there's other players that have got a fear factor as well. I don't think there's just you know, us three. I think there's a group of players that have that fear factor. But in a way, I don't think the players really look into that fear factor situation because we can all beat each other and everyone can beat me, Luke, and Michael, and whoever. So yeah, I think that's a little bit cliche about that, to be honest.
You obviously got a big opportunity to go back to back, that not many have, but you've also got the opportunity to be the first player to clinch 2 million in prize money. Is that something that's also on your mind? Obviously, another record to break for yourself.
Not really, to be honest. I think my goal is to be back-to-back world champion. If I am, then of course that goal comes with it, doesn't it? But yeah, the money is amazing in darts. It's been elevated massively, and absolutely thanks to the likes of Barry and Eddie and Matt. You know, all them. What they've done for the sport allows us to live comfortably for the rest of our lives. But of course, when you're comfortable with money, you kind of don't worry about it anymore. I'm more focused on winning TV titles and, you know, just winning as a whole. I kind of get more of a buzz from winning world championships than I would from winning $500,000. You know, it's kind of what I thrive on is winning titles. So you know, everything else comes with it as an extra. But yeah, I thrive on being in these big major finals and winning, and that's what gives me the buzz.
You say the money's great in darts, but you and Luke could take out $2.5 million between you. You're not leaving much for us.
No, just leaving a few scrap. You know, yeah, we've undoubtedly been the 2 top players this year. I think I see a stat, yesterday saying about how much we both picked up. It's 17, 18, I think it's 17 titles between us. So it's up to the other players to you know, to get better maybe and match us. They can. There's so much great talent out there that it won't be long before you keep seeing more wager winners all the time. We did this year, there's a couple of new ones as well again, and that will just keep happening every year. But you know, when you're at the top of the sport, you kind of set yourself a high level of, you know, you want to win a couple of majors a year, and you know, if I can keep doing that myself, then obviously I'll overtake James and be the 3rd most successful. There's kind of a race between me and Lou who's going to be the first to 10 or 11, so you know, I might never win another one again. Who knows? You don't know. So I'd like to think I'll win many more in the future. But sport's in a great place. You know, it's going to get bigger and better, and you know, it's just really nice to be at that forefront of it.
There's been a lot of shocks, like you've alluded to, but the bookies make it kind of a 2-horse race for the world, with Anderson and MVG a little bit distant, and no one else really, according to the bookies, have a chance of winning a world title. Do you see it that way?
I don't see it that way. I can see why they'd price it that way. Of course, me and Luke have been in the final last year. Our events of what we've done this year. You know, Gary's always a threat. Michael's always a threat. Anybody outside that, you know, you have to create higher odds to want the punter to bet on it. But anybody can win a world title, but it takes a different mentality to do it. It's hard to just go straight into winning a world championship if you haven't won a major before, because there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and I think I benefit from all the major titles I had last year before I won the world. I think if I hadn't won all them, I don't think I'd have been world champion. So the kind of experience did help me. But you know, Rob Cross did it, so it shows anybody can really do it. But of course, me and Luke are going to be going into it as the favourite. But whether we win it, I guess you have to find out.
One last question. Luke was one of the favourite sports personalities, and a darts player never won that. How big would that be for the sport?
I think it's another feather in the cap for the sport, isn't it? You know, it's I kind of think that Keely Hodgson is probably going to win it, isn't she? But I think Luke could at least win Young Sports Personality player, what do they call it, Young Sports Personality of the Year. So if he doesn't win the main one, I'm sure he can win that one. That's still a nice thing to have for yourself. But you know, I've been invited myself, so if I'm there, I'll be there supporting.
I was going to say, wouldn't you feel you deserve to be in the running?
Well, of course, yeah. I think the only thing I'd find is maybe over the last 12 months, I don't see any other UK British sports person that's kind of dominated a sport and you know, nearly won everything. So, I mean, it's more done on personality in it, so it's not about your achievements. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't bother me too much, but I'll go and I'll be supporting him, and you know, hopefully he wins, and it's good for the sport. But it's nice to, you know, be invited. I think they acknowledge it a little bit what I've achieved. So.
Absolutely, so you should.
Thank you very much.